Workplaces are turning people away at the door as the economy flatlines. Health systems down for an undetermined amount of time. Are unpapered visitors being given special treatment at every turn, but U.S. citizens being left out in the cold? These are your reports. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates coming in from all over the world and all over the United States with what is really going on out there. Stuff you will not hear on the mainstream media. You are the most informed and in the know based on the reports that you guys are sharing with each other. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. If you have investments in an IRA or 401k and you can't pull that money out, but you have to invest it somewhere, you can either choose to be in the stock market or you can choose to be in something safer like gold, silver, or platinum. These physical metals, Jonathan and his team can explain to you how you can transfer over to physical metals from stocks and bonds. There'll be a link at the end of the video for you to have a chat with them. Kay says, West Virginia Health and Human Services, Veterans Administration, their computers crashed at 1:20 this afternoon and are not back up yet. So we just see one hack after the next after the next. Apparently the Department of Veterans Affairs is now being affected by a hack, at least in West Virginia. If you have information on that hack being more widespread than just that location in West Virginia, please let us know. If you have any updates that you need to share with us, just use the word update in a comment on this channel. That gets to the right place, and give some sort of geographical location if you can on what's happening. Let us know what's going on in your stores. Let us know what's going on at your workplaces, and let us know the situation right now, which we're covering extensively on what's going on with prescriptions as well as the medical system right now. Rob says, in Western Washington, I just returned from picking up a repeat prescription from Costco. I was warned that if I needed any new prescriptions, the doctor would need to fax or handwrite it. The computer system that connects their suppliers is down for an undetermined amount of time. So now you can't even get your prescription to the pharmacy. And then the pharmacies are having issues connecting with the insurance companies to get payment for it and also to even verify that you have insurance. That's what's slowing everything down. And it's not just pharmacies either. All medical providers out there, when they go to check to see if you have insurance, they have to use these systems. And they can't verify whether you have insurance at all. American Mom says, Pasco County, Florida. Unable for 2 weeks to get my diabetic shot medicine. You guys know enough to say that that is very, very bad. When diabetics can't get their insulin or their shot medicine, that is a serious situation. Contacting both the pharmacy and mail-in pharmacy daily, and they say they cannot get it. Contacting doctor, asking what to do. At least I can get my insulin still, but my diabetic meds are all important to my health. Okay, so I can get the insulin, but not the other diabetic medications. Francis says, I got a letter yesterday that my eye doctor's office IT system has been hacked and all the patient info have been stolen. All info. Now this is not the same hack. This was in November and they just let me know. My bank was hacked about a month ago. Bank account was hacked about a month ago and lost thousands of dollars. Now I know how. The doctor's office hacked back in November and not informed until late February. Still fighting that nightmare. Cost me a lot of money to get systems in place to help me monitor my info. I mean, who can you trust anymore, right? That goes to show how important it is to use cash whenever you can, to keep out of people's systems. Because when they get hacked, all of your other information gets compromised, right? Tennessee Mountain Girl says, medical insurance update. My son was sick Sunday with an upper respiratory infection. He has no insurance. He made an appointment at CVS and and urgent care here in Knoxville, Tennessee, which is very good for us. When we went to go pay, they told us that they had to bill and then send it. The nurse said overnight. There was some kind of executive order from the administration, so we'll probably not be able to get the discount for self-pay. She said that they are making allowances for our special visitors from the South and those trying to explore new bathrooms, if you catch my drift. And that we are going to be taxed in order to pay for all these free medical care that these people are getting. American citizens are being left out in the cold, but yet the special people, special visitors and explorers of bathrooms are getting special treatment. Arlene says, we are in Utah. My niece, who is a senior in high school, caught rheumatic fever from another kid in one of her classes. She needs to get a shot of penicillin every 3 months, and there is none to be found. Her parents have been calling around everywhere to try to find good old-fashioned penicillin with no luck so far. No hospitals have it. Absolutely insane. We're going back to the Dark Ages. You notice that? That seems to be the whole system here, is to take us backwards in time. We have high-efficiency gasoline and diesel vehicles, and they want to take us back to electric vehicles that don't really work. They want to take us from farming, where we produce more than enough food for everybody in the world, to shutting down as many of those farms as possible. They want to take us from having nuclear power plants and giant coal-fired power plants that produce electricity, stable electricity. They want to take us back to an irregular power grid like we have in third world countries. And they want to take us from having all the medications and medicines that we need that are modern and up to date back to a time before penicillin, back before antibiotics. This is their dream for us. And the idea of a majority of the people on Earth currently not making it past this transition actually is part of the plan. It's not a defect of the plan. It is one of the actual purposes of the plan. Lee says, hi, Steve. My wife is, if you guys disagree with that, hit that thumbs up button, right? And if you absolutely disagree with things, hit the thumbs down button twice. Because it comes off when you hit it the second time, right? Anyway, hi, Steve. My wife is epileptic and struggling to get her medication in Norfolk, UK. Please mention it in your channel. Thanks for what you do. If you have epilepsy in the UK, you might not be able to get your medication. This is not just the United States. This is Western countries. Canada's having issues. People in Canada are coming down to the United States to get medications because they can't get them up there. We're seeing the UK having serious issues. And why is all this happening? I'll tell you why. Where are all these medications being made? Take a guess. And if you're like, is it China? The answer is yes, it's in China. The precursors or the powders that go in the capsules are generally made in China. And then a lot of them are packaged in India. So the pharmaceuticals go across the border into India and they package them there. So people say they come from India. Well, that's not exactly true. They are processed in India, but the pharmaceuticals are actually made in China by and large. They're trying to move production over, but it is what it is. Greg says, including this, did you know that it's just impossible for the United States to produce certain kinds of antibiotics anymore? Because the antibiotics are actually whatever they harvest them off of, bacteria or whatever, the strains of bacteria or molds or whatever that produce these things, they had to be cultivated over time, and we shipped all of our strains over to China. And so the United States doesn't even have those anymore. So the only people that can produce these things are in China, which is absolutely mind-boggling when you think about it. That we shipped all of the process over there without even freezing some samples or whatever. Greg says, I needed to have dental work done. So I went to a place that took my insurance, and they told me it cost $8,000. I had to save up the money and then went back. Their computer system was down, and I would have to start the whole process over again. I decided to find a different dentist who did not take my insurance, just paying cash. It costed $4,750. With insurance, $8,000. Without insurance, $4,750. I could have had all the work done last year if I just went to this place instead of dealing with insurance. Friends, you might want to get a second quote. When you get quoted a high dollar amount on your insurance, you might want to check to see if you can get it cheaper somewhere else. It's absolutely insane. When I had a hernia and I had to get that repaired last year, and the numbers they were throwing at me, they're like, it's going to cost this much. I'm like, I'm paying cash. How much is it actually? And they're like, well, we can give you a cash discount down to here, and we'll chop this off, and we'll do this and that. And I mean, they quoted me like $50,000 or something like that, and then they chopped it all the way down to like $14,000. And just like, what's the real price here? Come on, let's focus in and give me the real price. And it was just like just one cut after the next. They just inflate these prices on everything so ridiculously so that they can tell you how much you're saving because you have insurance. But it's not necessarily true. You go to a different provider that doesn't deal with the hassle of insurance, you may find a lot cheaper of an option. And if you need a medical surgery or something like that, you can also look at going overseas. A lot of folks go down to Costa Rica. That's the Western Hemisphere equivalent. But if you need something really cheap, a major surgery, going to India or to, where's the other place? Thailand. Those are the places where you get things really cheap. And you can get American-trained doctors, doctors that did their residencies here in the United States, went to school here in the United States, speak English perfectly. You actually research your own doctors over there. And then the hospitals are just fantastically nice. They're like a 3-star or 5-star hotel, and they're really fancy. And then overall, the price is just ridiculously cheap. So if you need major medical care, that might be an option for you if you can, especially for elective surgeries and such. Praying It Up says, I live in Northwest Oregon, and I work for a charter school. Families are able to use what is called a bento card for school expenses. They started in September through the month of May. In a meeting yesterday, all teachers were informed that bento is going out of business. Is a subsidiary of U.S. Bank. Looks like another one is biting the dust. I've looked online and can't find any news about it. Just this came from the CEO of the public charter school. BLN says, not BLM, BLN, says, North Central Indiana, my daughter needs to see a specialist, and they scheduled it out for 6 months out. That's absolutely insane. CVS is working on getting my medicine, but it's unavailable. My husband is a package handler for the world's largest shipper. They shut down the day shift early, and they are sending people home and turning people away at the door. When packages aren't moving, that means people aren't buying stuff. And that's what we're seeing out there, is that people can't afford stuff. And even if they could afford stuff, they're really cutting back as best they can. Finally, people ran up some major credit card debt, but now they're finally starting to cut back seriously. Old hippie homesteader says, went to a food bank we usually use, walked in, and the place was packed with homeless. The workers said they are out of food, and this is a first. We are in Northern California. All right, friends, if you guys want to get some more information about what Genesis Gold Group can do for you and what that would look like to get set up with them, there's a link right there. If you want to check out another video from the channel, there's one right up here. Thanks so much for joining us. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.